Alright, so here's the scenario. We're doing a test fit on our jeans back with our fit model. Now, when she puts this on, of course, tell her there's a couple pins here, but there's no pins sticking out, so she'll be okay. And when she's pulling these on, you'll want her to hold all of these layers right here, so all the pocket layers and the front when she's pulling these on. Once she has the pants on, you can see we have the waistband here in the back, so she can kind of adjust to where that feels natural in the back area. Also, of course, she's wearing her favorite underwear that she would normally wear with jeans, and you can make sure right away that this is going to cover up the top edge of her underwear. If you recall, in my draft, I was originally going to have the top of the pant here, the bottom of the waistband at the top of her underwear, but I still wanted this to be a little lower. So I have it set up where the top of her underwear is somewhere right in the middle area of this waistband, even a little bit lower. Now when we come over here, you're going to have all of these separate layers, and some of them might have curled under or done something weird inside of there. And you'll want to ask your client, hey, will you go in and just make sure that all of the raw edges of these layers here are facing towards center front and nothing's curling under. So once you have all these raw edges here coming towards the front, and then of course you have your center front, you know everything is pretty much in place, and you can see down here that nothing's curling under. If we're at that point, then what you want to do is now take these pins out of here, so those pockets are now free floating inside of her pants. Now at some point, you're going to want to pin center fronts together. But we need to make sure that these liner layers underneath here are in the correct alignment first. Now, if you remember, let's take a look here at the right side of the body. When we had the two liners, so the top bag and the under bag, were meeting together right here on this outside corner, this is where we're starting. So this is our base. When we do men's wear, kids wear, and even like a very petite women's wear, you're probably finished. Just pin this where it should be, put everything in its place, and the waistband will go right across. But we're going to find out the custom fit area, but we need to get back to 0 before we start to do the adjustments. So what you're going to want to do is, ignoring the main body, come in here to the top bag liner and the under bag liner, and line up the top edge and the front edge of these corners. And then let's go ahead and pin this in place and do the same thing for the other side. Make sure as you pin it, the last bit of your pin is here sticking out and not here on the inside where it might poke her skin. Now that we have the basics of that done, we can come in here and this part, these two layers here, we want them to lay flat. So you're not doing anything special, you just have everything is laying flat, all of the top edges are meeting. And then we can come out here to the pocket opening and pin that in place as well. So do the same thing over here. You're just making everything fit all nice and flat and clean. Now at this stage, we're going to come in here to close up center front. If you've done all your pattern making correctly, you should be able to come in here and close center front. Like I was saying before, men's wear, kids wear, this will be finished, you're done. For plus sizes, you're going to notice the front might still be a little bit floppy, and I'm going to show you how to actually tighten that up and make it even more custom fit. So let's get this center front pinned correctly. Now when we pin the center front, what we're going to do is we're going to pull her pants up a little bit further than it should be. So it should be a little bit loose in the back here. They're a little bit higher than they're supposed to be. And then you can have a client hold a ruler down inside of here. So you can come in and you can pin this, but you're not going to poke her with a pin. Also, I'm doing this so I don't pin this accidentally right to my dress form. So put a few pins here. So I got 3 pins here at center front. And now these pants The only place they're pinned is at center front, and nothing is pinned to the dress form. So make sure you don't have any pins here at center back. You want to make sure that all of this is totally free floating. So what we can do at this stage is you can come down here at the ankles and pull down on the pants. And wherever they start to stop and settle down in, you can tell that's what the fit is for these pockets right here as it is right now. Now, for instance, on mine, when I do this, when I pull these down just a little bit, it's getting too low. And that's totally fine. And you'll notice as you move into plus sizes, so girls who have curvy hips and maybe a small waist, or somebody who has more of a pooch belly, you're going to notice you could pull these pants all the way down a lot further. And that's because we still need to use this pocket to make some more cupping in the front area. So what I'll do is I'll have my client now pull her pants back up where it should be in the back, whatever feels really comfortable for them. So they'll bring this back up. For me, working on my dress form, I'll probably remember what my measurement was from that natural waist down to the top of the pants and making sure that I have the original fit that I wanted. Then once we come over here to the front, you'll notice it's a little bit too loose. And that's in the instance here, I'm doing a size 6 dress form. So size 6 all the way through plus sizes. You might notice it's a little bit loose here in the front. We're going to make it tighter by using this pocket opening right here. Now, since I'm working on a dress form, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to go ahead and pin my center back where it should be. And I don't want anything to move. So I'm pinning down with one pin and up with one pin, so it can't move up and it can't move down and it won't come across. Now as I come over here to center front, the center front is drooping down a little bit. So this whole area is just a little bit too loose. Now I don't want to pin this to the dress form. What I want to do is I want to resolve it. I want to get the fit correct without having to pin anything to the dress form. What we're going to do is, this is the actual custom part of making jeans for yourself or for a client, is remember this pin that we have here, which is holding the pocket top opening? We could pull that pin out, and you'll notice that you can pull these pants up a little bit in the front, and you can also start to close this, and it's acting like a dart. So we'll come in here, we'll start to close it, and I'll pin it again. Then the secondary pin that's holding the layers, now the layers are trying to shift, so you need to pull that pin out, let the layers shift, line up the top edges, and then go ahead and just pin through all layers to hold everything in place. So now what's happening on my girl is I'm getting a little bit of this cupping here going above the shape of her hips. And if you had a kind of a pooch belly or a plus size, you're getting that cupping that's coming up onto her body and holding her jeans up nicely. Now you don't want to pull too much because we still have this other side as well to tighten it. So just do a little bit, but leaving this still kind of loose, and we'll go to this side now. So again, I'm taking the pin out here from the top pocket. I'm pulling her pants up a little bit. Then I can tighten this so it's acting like a dart. I can hold this in place. And then the liner layers underneath, I'm letting them relax back out. I'm lining up the top of the jeans, and I'm pinning all of the pocket layers together. Now basically, you're going to go through this a few times. So at this point, again, I would pull down here at the knees, and I'm pulling her pants down so it'll settle into wherever that natural area is for her. And then I want to ask her, I'm like, how does it feel now? Does it feel too low? Does it feel too high? Is it too tight? Another thing you're going to want to notice as well is the distance from the side seam to this top of the pocket. It should be the same here as it is here. Okay, so another check you're going to want to do is we need to measure from the side seam over to the top pocket opening. And you want to be as accurate as possible. So for instance, I'm getting 4 3/8 and it's almost the 16th beyond that. Now when I come over to this other side, ideally they should be exactly the same. This one's 4 1/2. So basically I have this side I've taken in more and this side I've taken in less. So what I should do is relax this side just a little bit, and then I can tighten this one just a little bit. And then I'll come back to the liner bags on the inside and I'll let them relax. And then again, I'll pull on the pants so that they're settling down onto her waist. And then we can ask her, hey, how is this fitting? Now for my girl, I think this fits really well and everything looks good. And also the top of her underwear is like right under there. So I know once I put this waistband on here at 1/2 inch, that's going to cover up that last bit right there. So ideally, while you're doing the fitting, you would want to have the top pocket opening the same distance to the side seams on both sides. Now obviously, once we get back to the tabletop, we can take that measurement and make sure we have an exact measurement, and then we'll just do the pattern making for just the right side of the body. Okay, so what I've done now, I've gone through and I've redone these 4 pins a few times, evening it out and making sure I really like the fit on here. Make sure your finger can go all the way through and you don't have it too tight on here. Now for some of you who are plus sizes, you still have your front dart right here and here. Plus, this adjustment that we're doing with the pocket is acting like your second dart. So even though we're making a pair of jeans, which normally would have no darts anywhere, you're still able to come in and do a real custom fit back to you personally or to your client. Once we have this in place, you'll notice that the pocket is starting to stick out more and more and more. Now for some of you, if you're really making a big dart movement here at the pocket to get this shaping, and you're noticing this pocket is sticking out too much, you have to remember when we were here at the pattern making stages, and on the top bag as well as the main body front, we added to the side seams to give us some of that built-in volume. Now this is great for all the menswear, petite, teen wear, and then some of the women's sizes like 0 through 8. It's good to have that extra built-in volume. But for the plus sizes, if you notice this pocket is really starting to stick out too far, you can go back to your original side seams on the front and the top pocket. So here where we have it in red, you can just trim that back to where it used to be, and that'll take away some of this pocket volume and get it so it's not sticking out as far. Now, of course, you want to have the pocket always sticking out a little bit off the body so it's easier to get your hands inside your pockets. All right, so at this stage, I have everything how I like it. Fits great in the back, fits good in the front. I'm going to take these pins out from the back, and I'm going to bring this waistband around to the front, and here I have my 1/2 inch stay stitch on the waistband, and I can come in here to 1/2 inch down at center front, and I can pin my waistband here at center front. And then I'll just bring the other waistband around to center front as well, and pin that in place. Alright, so now we have the waistband in place. Now here at the front, I'm going to just have my waistband straight across, and it's going to be 1.25 inches. And that's the same as what I did here on this size 4. So it's just straight waistband, and it's that 1.25 inches height. On these pants, what I'm doing is, it's the contour waistband here in the back. So if you notice, the waistband continues cupping into her lower back. Now for these pants, she'll never need to wear it with the belt because it will fit her so perfectly. But also, she can't wear it with a belt. And I'll show you why. So on these pants here, this is a straight waistband all the way from the back. So from the back all the way here to the front. And if you notice, the waistband stays off of the body. And the reason being is because it's a straight waistband. So you don't have that cupping. Now if you take a look at a belt is also just a straight line. So when you put a belt here onto the body, the belt itself sticks out. So it does not contour into her lower back. If I put belt loops on this contour waistband and then she wore it with a belt, what would happen is the belt would keep pulling the back of her pants off of her body, and it would have these weird buckles in there. So you'll see here with the straight waistband, once you put your belt on there, it's going to match following along with your belt. And then you'll have belt loops on your pants, and then your pants will settle right into your waist wherever that belt is, and the same as the bottom of the waistband. So then you can see that's the difference between having the straight waistband, which is easier for construction, it's cheaper in production, and then it looks great when you're wearing a belt, versus when you do the contour waistband, which is more expensive in production because it's a curve and it wastes fabric. And then also this is a very custom fit, so it's only going to fit certain body types, whereas this you'll have more options on different body types. So one last thing that I would want to check is just to make sure that I like the back pocket size, the back pocket placement. I can see here where I just traced one off. This is where I made one. Now keep in mind that this back pocket that I'm making here, it's real small and cute looking, but it's not really going to fit a big giant cell phone. Also in the front here, I have where the pocket depth, the cell phone will be about into this area. So these pants in general aren't really made to fit a cell phone very well. So I'm assuming that these pants, even though it's denim jeans, it's going to be a little more dressy, a little more expensive. She's probably going out on a date and she'll have like a clutch or a purse or something where she'll have her phone inside of that. And we're trying to make the pockets really simple, low profile, and not a whole lot of thick layers to them. So if you were looking for something bigger, you could see this is a larger size pocket here, and this would easily fit a cell phone. So it's just up to you and your client for the sizing on your pockets. Alright, well everything looks good. What I want to do is I want to get the marks here for where the top pocket is hitting onto the underbag, and I'm going to turn those into notches back on my pattern pieces, and I'm going to finish sewing the waistband here at the top of the pants. I just want to make sure that I'm marking in red on both pockets, so when I go back to the tabletop I can compare them. I'm also checking down here at the ankles. I'm noticing that my pants are probably another inch too long, so I'm going to take 1 more inch out of here and fix that on the pattern pieces as well. If you are working with a fit model, at this point you can go ahead and finish sewing the waistband to test out the fit of the front pocket and then send her home for the rest of the day. In the next video, we're going to fix all of our paper patterns according to the adjustments that not only what I want to do for my dress form, but I'll give you advice on what to do for yours as well as plus sizes. And then of course we'll do some general fine tuning and pattern finishing that applies to all sizes.